"I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." It was the statement heard around the world. A president caught in a web of lies. A stained blue dress, carrying undeniable DNA evidence, and a 445-page report that nearly tore the White House apart. What began as a private affair spiraled into a constitutional crisis, threatening to remove the most powerful man on earth from office. This is not just a sex scandal. It etched one of the biggest political earthquakes in American history. In the summer of 1995, Monica Lewinsky, a 22-year-old intern, arrived at the White House. Ambitious, wide-eyed, and eager to prove herself, Monica was assigned to the West Wing. There, she encountered President Bill Clinton, charismatic, powerful, and already a legend in Washington circles. According to Monica's later testimony, their relationship began in November 1995. In the shadow of government work, behind the polished doors of the Oval Office, the two embarked on a clandestine affair. Over the next 18 months, Monica and the president engaged in 9 intimate encounters. Many of them took place in the Oval Office itself, the symbolic center of American democracy. 4 months, whispers circulated in Washington, but the world only learned of the scandal in January 1998, when Matt Drudge's fledgling news site, The Drudge Report, broke the story. The president was accused of having a sexual relationship with an intern and attempting to cover it up. Mainstream media picked up the story immediately. The Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, all filled with front-page coverage. Cable news ratings doubled as Americans tuned in, glued to every detail. On January 26, 1998, facing hundreds of journalists, Bill Clinton stood firm and delivered his most famous denial. "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." The words echoed across America, but they would soon unravel as the most notorious lie in U.S. political history. Unbeknownst to Clinton, Monica confided in her friend Linda Tripp. What Monica didn't know was that Tripp was secretly recording their conversations. Over 20 hours of taped phone calls revealed intimate details about Monica's relationship with the president. But the real bombshell came in the form of a blue Gap dress. Monica had kept it, stained with semen. When tested, the DNA matched the President of the United States to 100% certainty. It was undeniable, physical proof that Clinton's denial was a lie. Independent counsel Kenneth Starr, already investigating the Whitewater land deal, expanded his inquiry to include the Lewinsky affair. In September 1998, Starr released his report, 445 pages of explosive detail, outlining not only the affair itself, but also accusations that the president had committed perjury and obstruction of justice. Within 48 hours of its release, the Starr report was downloaded over 20 million times, an internet record at the time. People all over the world read the intimate details of the president's encounters with his intern. The dignity of the Oval Office was stripped bare. On December 19, 1998, after weeks of heated debate, the U.S. House of Representatives voted 228 to 206 in favor of impeachment on the charge of perjury, 221 to 212 in favor on the charge of obstruction of justice. Bill Clinton became only the second president in U.S. history to be impeached, after Andrew Johnson in 1868. The case moved to the Senate, where Clinton's political future and his legacy hung in the balance. In January 1999, the Senate trial began. The world watched live as prosecutors and defense lawyers laid out their cases. The outcome came down to numbers. On the charge of perjury, 55 senators voted not guilty, 45 guilty. On obstruction of justice, the vote split evenly, 50 to 50. Neither count reached the two-thirds majority required. Clinton was acquitted and remained in office, but his survival came at a price. His reputation, his moral authority, and his presidency would forever be defined by this scandal. Here's the paradox. While the scandal engulfed Washington, Bill Clinton's approval rating soared to over 60%, even reaching 70% at times. Many Americans believed Clinton's personal failings did not overshadow his political achievements. The economy was booming, unemployment was low, and America was at peace. To much of the public, impeachment seemed like an overreach, but politically, the damage was undeniable. The Democratic Party lost ground in Congress, and Clinton became a weakened figure for the remainder of his presidency. While Clinton clung to power, Monica Lewinsky's life spiraled, mocked on late-night TV, demonized in the press, and branded with shame. She became the unwilling face of a global scandal. It took years before Monica reclaimed her voice. She later wrote a memoir, appeared in documentaries, and became an advocate against cyberbullying and public shaming. Today, she is often seen as a survivor of a toxic media storm. The investigation into Clinton cost the U.S. government over $70 million. Thousands of hours of testimony, hundreds of pages of confidential documents, and relentless media coverage consumed the nation. The Clinton-Lewinsky scandal redefined the presidency in the age of 24-hour news cycles and the internet. It blurred the line between personal misconduct and political accountability. Even after leaving office, Clinton carried the shadow of impeachment. Though he remained a respected figure in Democratic politics, his credibility never fully recovered. Historians now debate, was Clinton's presidency remembered more for economic prosperity or for the Oval Office scandal that almost destroyed him? As for Monica, she has outlived the scandal with resilience, turning her pain into advocacy. But her name, like Clinton's, will forever be linked to that one story. In the end, the Clinton-Lewinsky scandal was not just about sex. It was about power, deception, and the fragility of public trust. Clinton's infamous words, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman," still echo as a cautionary tale. Because no matter how powerful you are, no matter how carefully you try to control the truth, history has a way of pulling back the curtain, and when it does, the whole world is watching.